invited me to take part in this evening. I absolutely love the concept of Wow Talks, and already just from the short start of this evening I'm feeling thoroughly inspired myself. I also love the formula that you give your speakers, so I'm going to stick quite closely to that and just, I guess, give you my gut, heartfelt responses to each of those 5 things. So kicking off with what inspired me and what started me on this journey to start Tripbod. I was studying at UCL for a neuroscience degree, something completely unrelated to what I'm doing now. And my plan for like 10 years had been, I'm going to do a science degree and then I'm going to convert, do a kind of law conversion course, and then I'm going to go and be a barrister. And I'd saved up my entire student loan and paid for that, and that was kind of like my really big vision. And then in my final year at UCL, I just took part in a little entrepreneurship competition, just for enjoyment really. And the point of this competition was to come up with an idea of something that you think would change the world. And I did some research and I started to follow ideas that I was passionate about. I was quite a passionate traveller. And my research led me to discover that in many parts of the world, up to 97% of the money from tourism never reaches the destination. It just never gets there. Because you spend your money with lots of multinational companies that are not based in the destination. And that blew me sideways. I just thought, how can this be the case? This is insane. And yet it started to make quite a lot of sense. These amazingly popular tourist destinations where local communities still live in abject poverty, and I've started to make some connections. I then started to research more about the industry, and I thought, this is insane. This is crazy. Something needs to happen here. And I had just taken a gap year and had been thoroughly screwed over by a really unethical gap year volunteering company. I thought, right, I'm going to go after those guys. I'm going to put my law career to one side, literally did my final exams and told my parents that instead of going to law school, I was going to spend my savings on starting up a business. Thankfully, they weren't too horrified and they were very supportive of the idea. And that was really how my journey began. We started to try to disintermediate unethical middlemen by doing something beautifully simple, by connecting one traveller with one trusted local to help them. So simple. We started off in the volunteering world so people could connect with a local person who could help them do a local volunteering project. If I had more time, I'd tell you some of the amazing inspirational stories that have really kept me going throughout all of this, but maybe we'll get a chance to talk about those later. And over the last now 7 years, that concept has evolved into what Tripbod.com is now today, which is your friend at the other end. Wherever you're going, whenever you need us, you have a trusted local contact in your destination. Not just if you're volunteering, more often than not, it's just people who are going on city breaks or honeymoons or whatever it might be, wanting to go local, spend their money in the right places, but crucially, get a much better deal and much more for your money. And I guess that's what's unique and original about what we do. We have a global network of hand-picked, local, trusted people who are utterly passionate, not just about where they live, but about you experiencing the best of their destination. So I guess that's kind of what makes us different from lots of the other brilliant travel communities out there. We actually deliver a guaranteed service, so that's a bit about Tripbod. The challenges that we have faced, it's really hard to pick one to talk about because there have been so many. Alex, I completely empathise with what you talk about, the fear of failure. Personally, that's probably been my biggest one. Terrified that you're putting yourself out there, you're kind of saying to the world, I'm putting my hat down here, I believe in this, and you've always got the risk that it's going to fail, especially something that we're doing, because this product has never existed before. The travel industry is an incredibly old, archaic industry, and we're trying to disrupt it in a quite bold way, and with a completely new product. We've certainly set our aspirations quite high. But one thing I would say throughout that is a challenge we've had to really overcome is staying true to ourselves when being buffeted by all these external forces. Along the way, we've taken investment, so we've kind of gone through that startup process. We've obviously had mentors and peers around us, and it's so easy to just listen to the chatter and to get swayed from one side to the other by what people are telling you should be doing, what they think you should be doing. Nobody knows that vision like you do. Nobody knows that dream, and I think there's so much to be said for going back to your core gut feeling and to the reason that you started out and not losing that, and then listening to your customers. In our case, we kind of have two. We've got our customers who pay us, and then we have our community, our local Tripbods. So many times I've realised just ignore the rest of the voices and listen to those guys. They will tell us what we should be doing, and if I could do anything again, It would be going back and only building things, products and technologies for those people, and ignoring the rest of the people and what they were telling us we should be doing because it was cool or whatever. That's rubbish. You should listen to your customers and only ever build, I think, we will only ever build what they want. My dream is the same dream really that I started out with. It's to make travel about people again. I don't know where we suddenly found that travelling became about buying a flight and booking a hotel. That's not why we travel. We travel because we want to go and experience places. And so often travel and the best travel memories we have, they're about people. They're about the people we share our journeys with, or the people we meet along the way. There's people who just make that incredible difference, and I think the industry has lost that. So I want to make travel about people, about customers, and about locals. And I want to put money back into local pockets. That's a really big dream for our company, because we have seen the impact that tourism dollars in their raw form can have at the grassroots. It can have a bigger impact on equality, on poverty, on conservation than actually anything else I've seen. And I'll come back to that at the end. And our business goal is to provide you with a friend at the other end, wherever and whenever you need us. It's not an easy vision, it's not an easy dream. We're aware that it's quite a big aspiration that we have, and we're aware it's going to take a lot of perseverance, a lot of time. But we're ready for that. We've been here for quite some years. We've managed to stay true to our vision so far, and so I believe that we will keep going and that we will continue to disrupt the industry as we have been. And it's those same people who've been with us from the start who continue to inspire me today and remind us of that goal. So just to end with, I will end with a question, but first I have a statement and then an invitation followed by a question. So my statement is, if there's one takeaway message I want to give you, it's that I think in this day and age there's so much negative press and there's so much negativity, I think, around the state of the world. Well, there's one thing I can tell you, it's that just by travelling locally and spending your money in places, they don't have to be, developing areas of the world, just going and travelling, engaging, spending your money with local businesses makes an absolutely enormous difference. And if you want to feel that you're making a difference and you're doing something great, just do that. I can promise you, you will have an impact. The invitation I want to extend to you all is that we host an event on the 6th of November called the Fringe event. It's one of the most inspirational travel events you will ever come across. We founded it 8 years ago for the micro-entrepreneurs around the world who get forgotten by the industry. They all come to London in November and they share their passions, their dreams. For anybody who has an interest in that kind of thing, let me know. I'd be delighted for you to join us. We're co-hosting it this year with Skyscanner, so it's going to be a pretty good event. And to end with my question, there's a quote that has stayed with me throughout my journey in developing Tripbod, and it's come to mean quite a lot to me, and it's by the American sociologist Margaret Mead. Some of you may well know it. It goes, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful and committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has." And so my question to leave you with is, surrounded by a small group of thoughtful and committed citizens, how would you change the world and leave it in a better place than you found it? Thank you.